Hi everyone, I am back with another reading wrap up. This is February's reading wrap up for 2026. I nearly said 2025, don't ask. So, this is a mix of books for the Polathon, hosted by JD Ray Reads, and a mixture of ones from the Literature Readathon, hosted by Steph. So, yes, I did them both. Don't ask. Yeah, I read $17 books in total. Yeah, I read 17 books in total in February. So, I'm going to start off with the Doctor Who ones that I was reading in between. Because I have now finished the Time Lord Fairy Tales. So this is the Three Brothers Gruff. I gave 4 stars to this one. The Helena and the Beast. I gave 4 stars to this one. And Andibar and the Force Levine, I gave 5 stars to this one. Then the Garden of Statues, I gave 5 stars. Arguably, this one's my favourite because it has the Weeping Angels in. So, overall, I would do, if you like Doctor Who, I do recommend the Time Lord Fairy Tales. All of them are really good. So, I read Odd Spirits by S.T. Gibson. I gave this one 4 stars. This is the novella for Evocation. So this just follows Reese and Mara, who are newly married, and they've got a malevolent spirit attacking their home. So they try and rid it, and it doesn't work. This kind of mirrors my life at the minute. We have I won't call him malevolent. I'll call him an asshole. Currently in the house. He's a spirit and he likes to flicker lights. He likes to throw things at people. He's really annoying. And he doesn't want to leave. So, this was really good. I didn't write a review with it being a novella, so I didn't write a full review, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. It was a nice introduction to the characters. Also, I did another volume of Vampire Nights by Matsuri Hino. This is volume 3. This was 4 stars. This is about an academy that has a day class and a night class. Night class is the vampires, day class is the humans. And Yuri Cross and Zero Kihiru are the guardians of the school. And they protect the day class from the night class. And also Kanemi is a pureblood vampire, and he is hiding out in his room because Yuki and Zero are doing the Forbidden Act. And then Ishio's grandfather appears and brings the entire night class to meet the oldest vampire of the Senate. This was really, really good. The drama is starting to begin. So I probably will carry on with this. This is sad though. I have 10 volumes. There's 19 and I cannot find the other 9. So, because it's an out-of-print manga. Then I finally got to the Just Said by Sarah Hashim. I will say I did try the Just Said Crown. Hated it. DNF'd it. Not even worthy to be written as a DNF. So, this is the Illumicrate edition. I unhauled the other one. So this is about the lost heir of Jussard. So Sylvia never wanted to be found. She can't think of how Nzazel's army destroyed her kingdom and continued to hunt its people. Not if she wanted to stay alive. But when Aaron, the tracks a group of Jasadi rebels to her village, staying one step ahead of death gets trickier. She reveals her magic and captures Aaron's attention. Now, to save her life, she'll have to make a deal with her greatest enemy. She helps lure him to the rebels. She will escape persecution. A deadly game begins. So this is essentially loads of trials. I really enjoyed this. I actually gave this 5 stars. It is a fantastic and great fantasy romance. The Egyptian setting is amazing. If you know anything about me, I like ancient Egypt. I've studied ancient Egypt. I have a diploma in ancient Egyptology. Soon to have one in ancient Egypt mythology. That'll be a fun one. It has a deeply personal and political exploration of survival, moral complexities of enemies to lovers. That was hard to say. It was written perfectly, the magic system's unique, and it's easy to follow. Characters were interesting. Well-developed paced. Why have I... Paste, not paste. Don't ask why it's written that. Aaron, of course, is my favourite. I like the way his name's spelled as well. It's very interesting. Aaron is really cool. But the sequel did not go down the way I thought it would. So, I am keeping this, but, of course, the sequel is gone. Another one, Cold Storage by David Coep. This, you've probably seen this in a very recent haul. I gave this one 5 stars. It's Cold Storage. If you haven't already heard, considering the film is coming out soon, is about a Pentagon bioterror operative called Roberto Diaz, and he's sent to investigate a suspected biochemical attack. And he finds something far, far worse. A highly mutative organism capable of extinction-level destruction. He contained it, buried it in cold, deep storage beneath a little-used military respiratory. Now, after decades of festering in a forgotten sub-basement, the specimen has found its way out and is on a lethal feeding frenzy. And only Diaz knows how to stop it. He races across the country to help 2 unwitting security guards. One, an ex-con, and the other a single mother. Over one harrowing night, the unlikely trio must figure out how to quarantine this horror again. Will that be enough to save all of humanity? This has got such dark humour in it. I love this. It's fantastically funny. It's a sci-fi thriller where nothing is ever simple. Absolutely nothing. Friendships form out of the weirdest situations as well in this. It's amazing. It's brilliantly written, a quick read. Each character is authentic, and even the science side of things is authentic as well. Yeah. Tea Cake, I love him. I haven't even seen the film yet, because it's nowhere near me. Because I live in a very weird place. I've just clicked off that because my phone hates me. Okay. My Roommate is a Vampire. This has been on my TBR for ages because it got popular and I refused to read it. I'm a weirdo. This is by Jenna Levine. So this is about Cassie Greenberg, who needs a new place to live, and fast. When she finds an affordable apartment in a beautiful neighbourhood, she knows there must be a catch. Of course, her new roommate, Frederick J. Fitzwilliam, is far from normal. He sleeps all day and is out all night on business, and talks like he walked out of a Regency romance novel. He leaves Cassie's heart-melting notes around the apartment, always asks about her day, and doesn't look half bad shirtless on the rare occasions they both are home and awake. There's no denying there's a spark between them, but there's also a secret. This I gave 3 stars. The hype, I think, got to this one. Definitely. It's entertaining, it's light-hearted, it's a paranormal rom-com, and it's a slow-burn romance. Yet it ended too quickly. Yeah, that sounds wrong, because it is wrong. The relationship just lacked depth. The third act conflict was really weird, and it's not relevant at all. And it's very dated because it uses references like TikTok and Taylor Swift. If you're a Swiftie, you will like this, but See, now I'm going to get a hell of a lot of flack. I'm not a Swiftie. No way. Like some of her music, but not the fans. An okay romance. And then I read Space Vampire by Ruby Dixon, which is one of them like short ones on Kindle Unlimited. That was an awful experience I never want again. It's cringy, it's odd, the characters just lack personality, lack depth. Which, even despite the short length of the book, I have read and know it's possible to fully flesh out characters in that kind of time frame. And the plot made no sense. Then I moved on to Rebel Robin by A.R. Kapatia. So this is set at the beginning of Robin's sophomore year. So where do I place that? Before season 3. So Robin's Oz Squad friends have decided it's time they're going to fit in and act normal. Robin knows that game well, and she's been pretending for years, hoping no one would notice the sarcastic polyglot French horn player with a bad perm in the back of the room. But there's one aspect of her identity that she knows she doesn't for sure fit with her carefully controlled image. That she's something that she's only just realising now. Robin likes girls. How exactly is she supposed to be her true self in a teeny tiny Hawkins, Indiana? Robin is convinced the only way she can experience real life is by fleeing to Europe for the summer, aka Operation Croissant. I would do that in a French accent, but that would be offensive. But that would be very Robin. But she has no money, no permission, and no one to share the adventure with. And it'll take a heck of a lot more than that to escape Hawkins in one piece. This was 5 stars. This is amazing. It added so much more to Robin's character. It shows how much more she forms friendships, how she came to actually finally see that it's okay to be different. And we got to finally see her parents that seemed to be absent from the entire show. And it's interesting how they were like 1960s hippies, like Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks kind of style hippies. I love Robin. I think she's cool. And the references to Steve Harrington in this are hilarious. She's a great representation for being queer in the 80s. And even seeing the possibility of her being an undiagnosed neurodivergent as well. Whether that's ADHD or autistic. It can mirror either way with her. But absolutely fantastic. And this is a bit of a jump. I decided to read A Dowry of Blood. I had another book down for that prompt. What was it? I can't think what it was. I got rid of it instantly. I don't even remember it was that bad. Anyway. So I took to A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. So this has an Encore of Roses in it. By the way, Encore of Roses, what did I rate that? 5 stars, and I gave this 5 stars as well. So if you like Dracula, you'll like this. So this is my last love letter to you, though some would call it a confession. Safe on the brink of death by a mysterious stranger, Consanta is transformed from a medieval peasant into a bride fit for an undying king. But when Dracula draws a cunning aristocrat from a starving artist into his web of passion and deceit, she realises that her beloved is capable of terrible things. Finding comfort in the arms of her rival, she begins to unravel their husband's dark secrets. With the lives of everyone she loves on the line, she will have to choose between her own freedom and her love for her husband, but bonds forged by blood can only be broken by death. I have watched Nosferatu, the old one, the new one, Dracula, the one that came out last year, Dracula on the one with Hugh Jackman, the Van Helsing one, and I've watched The Voyage of the Last Dementor. Last Voyage of the Dementor. In the entire, near enough the entire time I have picked this up. This was definitely a 5 star. I'm glad I have the Fairy Loot edition. This is amazing. It's a fantastic take on Dracula and his bride. I read Dracula last year as well. It's great to see it from her perspective and the perspective of the other two characters. There's an exploration of abuse, manipulation, narcissistic, and breaking free from the toxic relationships, and it's handled beautifully. S.T. Gibson really blurs lines between love and devotion perfectly. The queer relationships are written amazingly, and it's my first experience actually with polyamorous relationships in this. And it was done quite tastefully as well. So I'll give her all the credit for that. This was a great book. A bit of a, shall we say, a backwards thing for this. The Last Burr by Hannah Gold. So this is a middle grade, and it won the Blue Peter Book Award. There are no polar bears. Oh, English is not Englishing lately for me. There are no polar bears left on Burr Island. That's what April's father tells her when his research takes him to the Arctic outpost for 6 months. But one night April catches a glimpse of something distinctly bear-shaped, loping across the horizon. A polar bear who shouldn't be here, who is hungry, lonely, and a long way from home. A bear who is missing something, just like April. As the unlikely bond grows, April is determined to save her new friend, and so begins the most important journey of her life. This I gave 4 stars. It's amazing. It'd benefit anyone reading it, especially if they love polar bears, and are genuinely interested in climate change. It's both educational and enjoyable, and the bond between April and Burr is adorable, and the illustrations in this are a great addition. However, this one does not do too much. It's very on the nose for climate change. That's why it's a low 4 star. And then we have Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. So this is Rusey but might not have it all, but she has enough. A few friends she can always count on, the financial stability she yearned for as a kid, and a successful career as a biotech engineer at Klein, one of the most prominent startups in the field of food science. Her world is stable, pleasant, and hard-fought, until a hostile takeover and its offensively attractive frontman threatens to bring it all crumbling down. Eli Kilgore, he has a great last name, I'll give him that, and his business partners want Klein, period. Eli has his own reasons for pushing this deal through, and he's a man who gets what he wants, with one burning exception, Rue. The woman he can't stop thinking about, the woman who is off limits to him. Torn between loyalty and an undeniable attraction, Rue and Eli throw caution out of the lab and the boardroom windows. There are first secrets, no strings attached, and has a built-in deadline, the day one of the companies will prevail. But the heart is a risky business, and the one that plays for keeps. See, I've had a good going with Ali Hazelwood. Until I met Not in Love. This is a 3 stars. This one was okay. It's erotic, which was great, well written, easy to tell characters were well experienced in sexual situations. And then when it comes to the romance side of things, everything was lackluster. It wasn't slow burn, but it wasn't insta-love either. I don't know what it was. Rue lacked character development. Eli seemed more obsessed with his ex than with the relationship. And his ex was a weird character within herself, and the whole business thing just got a bit icky. I'm sad because I have all matching editions and that one has to go. However, we prevail with Finding Burr by Hannah Gold. It's a very weird situation I got myself in doing mismatch with literature and polython. I don't know whether I'll do this next year. So, this is where April returns to Burr Island a year later to look for Burr again. Because she finds out Burr has been injured and she's convinced it's her. Her friend Burr. So they go back and they go across the tundra and the glaciers to find Burr. Very much like Lone Husky, this one's a 5 star. This was adorable, and it showed the struggle of Burr and his cub Peanut, which is adorable. And also showed the struggle with April because she has to learn to navigate school. She has to learn to navigate a normal life after being on Blur Island for so long. It's a great winter adventure for all ages, not just middle grade. It's so cute and the illustrations are adorable in this one. This one is the perfect one. My final book, Protect by Paisley Hope, the second book in the Skyridge Hotshot series, and now on these physically. So, imagine coming into town pub with my crew, dirty and exhausted, only to walk right into my biggest regret. The twin sister of my lost best friend and the one who got away. I haven't seen Violet Taylor in years, but I haven't forgotten her either. I used to be Rowan to her, but now I'm just King, the guy who broke her heart, but not for the reasons she think. So this is a single-parent romance between Rowan Kingsley and Violet Taylor. This was a very high 4-star, like 4.5. Violet and Rowan had a fantastic connection already built from the start. Plenty of flashback scenes, even despite being apart for so many years. They clicked very much instantly because of you're already seeing the flashbacks. Chemistry was fantastic, both sexual, romantic, and friendship-wise. Grief was handled with care, love language shown well. I'm not really one for single-parent romances, but this one worked perfectly for me. And also, the dog was quite cute. The dog's called Holly, which is probably why it worked well for me. But yes. So those are all the books I have read in February. So, you'll probably see a lot of non-fiction come up next month. Because I am kind of fictioned out at the minute. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye.